the flood that feeds everything. Before the flood arrives, there is silence. The earth cracks like ancient, thirsty skin. The river shrinks to a thin brown thread. The trees that remain stand perfectly still, waiting. And beneath the surface, deep inside the hardened mud, millions of creatures live in a long pause the land simply calls the dry season. This is not an ending. This is the beginning of the most ancient cycle on Earth. Somewhere upstream, rain has been falling for weeks. Water descends the mountain slopes, fills the tributaries, merges into a force that nothing can resist. And now, that water is coming. Not as a disaster, but as a promise. This seasonal flood, arriving with an almost biological precision every year, carries far more than water. It carries sediment rich with minerals from distant peaks. It carries seeds swept down from forests above. It carries dissolved oxygen, stored nutrients, and something more abstract yet undeniably real. A signal. A signal that the time has come. The world stirs. Within the first 48 hours, the transformation is staggering. Fish that spent months trapped in shrinking pools now swim free, erupting into the floodplain that has suddenly become a shallow sea. Frog eggs buried in the mud sense the vibration of water and begin dividing. Grass seeds that slept through an entire dry season split their husks within 24 hours. Migratory birds, who somehow know, arrive from thousands of kilometers away, precisely as small fish flood the surface of the new water. This is where survival strategies meet breeding strategies. Predator and prey, eater and eaten, all present in the same explosion of energy. The flood does not give life only to the strong, it gives opportunity to the prepared. Among the roots of submerged trees, water snakes lay their eggs. At the edge of the inundated plain, deer drink with wary eyes, while crocodiles float motionless, indistinguishable from drifting logs. Every creature plays its role in an orchestra no one has ever written, yet which is always performed with absolute precision. The most dramatic transformation is not what swims, not what flies. The most dramatic transformation is what happens underground. Floodwater seeps below the surface, carrying nutrients that will form the foundation of fertility for the next 12 months. Soil bacteria that were previously dormant suddenly breathe again. Earthworms migrate upward, loosening structures that had hardened to stone. Mycorrhizal fungi, the hidden network beneath the forest, use this moisture to extend their reach, connecting tree to tree, root to root. This flood does not merely irrigate, it reprograms an entire ecosystem. The farmers who lived along the great rivers of the world understood this thousands of years ago. The Nile, the Amazon, the Mekong, every great civilization was born at the edge of rivers that flooded annually, because the flood was the fertilizer sent directly from the mountains to the fields below. But the flood also kills. Animals caught unprepared are stranded on islands of shrinking land. Some will drown. Others will fall to predators who seize this moment with ruthless efficiency. Trees whose roots cannot survive prolonged inundation will die standing, and their death will make space for other species to rise. This is not cruelty. This is selection working at extraordinary speed, in weeks, not generations. What dies becomes food. What loses becomes fertilizer. In a healthy ecosystem, nothing is wasted. When the water recedes, slowly over weeks, it leaves something behind. A thin layer of brownish sediment that will become some of the most fertile ground on Earth for the coming season. Remaining pools that will serve as nurseries for thousands of juvenile fish. And the countless traces of life, nests, burrows, the marks of battles fought, the marks of survival. The flood did not come to destroy, it came to renew. And as the land begins to dry again, as the first cracks appear in the cooling mud, the entire ecosystem has already begun to prepare itself, to endure, to be ready for when the next flood comes, because it always comes.